Hello, welcome to Flooring Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Suyata. If you've never heard of them, we'll talk about them in a moment. 1/48 scale T90 and the Tiger or the GAZ-233014 truck. So basically it's a 2-in-1. So you get a T90 tank, 1/48 scale, and you get the GAZ truck in 48 scale as well. So again, this is one of those things. It's a strange, you obviously think of 1/35 scale and obviously 72nd scale, 48 scale armour. Yeah, but it works, let's face it. Tamiya have been doing it recently and we've been sort of singing its praises for it. So Suyata have come along and they've started to do it as well. So again, fair play to them for that. So as you can see, down on the box, we got the armour and the truck there on the front there. Kit number for this is number 2, so nice and easy for that one. So we got the colour call outs as well, obviously done by Ammo for the T90, and then on the other side we got the ones for the actual Tiger as well for the truck. So very nice to see down in there. So in the box you are God. You can tell I haven't looked inside the box. Again, generally first time I've seen in the box, and I wasn't expecting to see 19 technically a 70s or 80s diary yellow kits back again, but apparently we have. Why anybody would ever do them like that is beyond me. Anyway, we have some clear parts. Again, we've got to work out what's for what here. So we've actually got some wheels. I'm thinking this is for the GAZ truck. Some parts for that one. We've got the hull, obviously a lower hull there, the T90 moulded in one, which is quite nice. We've got the top deck again. Lovely detail moulded in there. I think we've got the wheels, that must be for the GAZ. We got the actual turret for the T90. I'm just wondering, but there isn't. I was hoping you might get some differences between the two. So I'm thinking that's truck, maybe. That looks like it's truck, possibly. That's definitely truck. You can see down in there. Oh, back. I think that's going to be T90. That's definitely T90. That's definitely T90. Wow, can you see that as well? That's got natural, these are like Lincoln length, but that's got sag pre-moulded into it. That's interesting, as you can see down in there. And then the bit we've been after is the old booklet. So down in here, if we find the way in, here we go. We've got our book and our decals. Let's keep that nice and safe out of the way. So we've got a little bit of braided cable you can see down in here, which actually is quite a nice touch. We've got decals, which is probably going to be nothing to shout home about, and then obviously we've got the instruction booklet, which is one of these giant pull-out ones. So you've got a little bit of information about how to do decaling and stuff, which is fair enough. We've got the call out for obviously all the parts down in there like that, and then we're working our way through. So technically it's quite nice because if you're a bit of a muppet like I am and you don't know much about tanks at all, it's always handy when the manufacturer tell you what them are. So torsion bar suspension system being fitted in there again, so both sides of those going on. Then we've got the road wheels. This is great. If this was all like this, it would be brilliant. And the drive sprockets being fitted in there. It's like having a script, this. We've got the tracks. So this is the Lincoln Lamp tracks. And as you can see, it's got the natural sort of sag built into those. So that's really nice indeed. And again, it's pointing out the actual points where you want them to touch to make that all go in there. We've got there the attach the self-entrenching device. This is brilliant, I could get used to this. Down in there, and then we've got the rear plate being fitted onto that one, as you can see. We've got the actual, obviously the systems all go into this, so we've got the frontal plate being fitted into this one, all the details being added onto the turret, which onto the hull, which there is loads of it as well. We've got the side armour being fitted down onto this one, and the same on the other side, so that's really nice indeed. We've actually got the plate going down the side there, some of the other parts being fitted onto this one, and then you're fitting the top part of the hull to the lower on there, and then we've got the rear parts being fitted down in there for those rear grills being done onto this one, and then obviously we've got the fuel tanks being fitted onto the back. Wouldn't be a T90 with that nose hang off the back. Again, fair enough. Then we're up into the turret, so again, nice detail on the turret already, so you're adding to that, as you can see just down in there, and then obviously doors and hatches and things like that being fitted onto this one. Then we've got the gun. So we've got the gun being fitted down onto the top as well, being fitted onto that one, and then obviously attached to the cupola system being fitted down into there, and then obviously more parts being tariffed. So we've got a rear storage bin, things like that, some bins on the side being fitted on there, and all the little lumps and bumps, and then obviously I call them the cat eyes. or the insect eyes, but these are the infrared lights being fitted down there onto the front of it, and then obviously turret being fitted to the top. So that's really nice, very straightforward build on that one. A little bit more in depth now, so obviously we're moving over to the Tiger here. So we've got all the running gear being fitted down onto the actual chassis, and obviously the chassis is being obviously put together, and fuel tanks being added, all the various parts as you might imagine. Then we've actually got the main chassis floor being fitted down into that one, and we've got the frame being fitted onto this chassis, wheels going on, and then obviously you've got front grille, and then obviously interior sets being fitted down into this one. We've got roll bars, things like that, nudge bars being fitted into it, all the internals being done, and then externals on the sides for those ones being all fitted in. Exactly the same obviously on the other side. Top turret system being fitted into this one, and we've got a gun being fitted up at the top, windscreen system, and then bunging the sides on. So we've got the sides going on both sides, roof going down, windscreen going in, and then obviously all the doors and windows and armoured glass, and then bonnet going in. So the only thing you don't get technically is an engine, but you certainly get all the rest of it, and there it is done. Painting, and obviously all the different colours and call outs you've got down in here, clearly done by Ammo. Alright, so they put their name in paints behind it, so that's all those done. Nice schemes as well. We've got the trucks, and obviously the painting and the call out guides for that. So again, impressed. Very nice indeed. Right, okay, so let's start with the truck, I think. So starting off with, just have a quick dive in the decals just so we can see them. And again, they don't look too bad at all. Really nice, straightforward. Pretty much what you expect. No problems with those. And again, we got, which is really nice to see, a proper braided cable instead of a bit of thread. Because I must admit, I do like the thread way of doing it. I think that's just a cheap cop out. Okay, so clear parts. I don't think there's even point in getting them out the back because they're clear on flat. Nice, straightforward, and clear. Funny enough. Tyres. So down in here, we've got moulded tyres like this. Got a nice wall on them as well. We don't have a centre seam, which is nice, running right the way through, so we've got all your tyres done like that. Okay, so let's dive in. So, in here, as you can see, this is spruce C, looking pretty good. And again, the detail is fantastic. So, very nice job down in there, and obviously got the underside. There is a few ejector pins around on this thing, but generally looks pretty good. And again, one piece chassis right the way through, which is really nice as well. Saves having to put all that together. We've got the top of the bonnet. We've got the rear plate down in here. We've got some of the interiors. We've got the roof system. We've got the sides, as you can see. Looks pretty darn good with all of that. And again, the ejector pins are all quite level. I can't see any flash. There's certainly no sink marks that I've seen. So that's all pretty nicely done. Okay, then obviously we've got the doors, some of the running gear underneath, got drive shaft, things like that here. So that's very nice on sprue D. Again, looks pretty nice, all very nice and sharp. Get away from the colour and it's fine. To be honest, you're better. On the screen it looks more as a beige. To me it's like diarrhea yellow, but there you go. Again, that cabling's quite nice as well. No real flash on it either, which is very nice to see. We've got the top parts as well. There's that drive shaft system, the various things. Got the dash, front ends, hatches, windows. Again, nice touch that they've actually put the wiper blades, moulded them in instead of having to try and fiddle them in afterwards. So that's really nice. Got a little bit of burring, but that's really easy, straightforward clean up on the actual bar there. So that's really nice. And on the inside, again, pretty darn good. There's no real interior detail to these, so I'm not worried about certainly things like ejector pins on doors and all stuff like that, because you're not really going to have them open. So again, sprue B, really nice indeed. Again, good clean moulding of the parts, as you can see. So we've got a steering wheel, we've got lots of the internal details and stowagey type things on this, as you might imagine. So that's pretty darn good. We've got the top gun. Again, looks pretty good. I don't know if that's like a 40mm type grenade launcher or something else like that, but that's a lot bigger. That's a hell of a barrel on it. But again, really nice details all the way through on that. on the blind side. All very good. And again, attention to detail just down in here, backs to the wing mirrors. Full detail. This isn't skimping on the detail at any point, which is really nice indeed. And again, mud flaps all good. Yeah. Okay, and then obviously a pair here for the wheels. Can't get anything over this. Okay. So this is a match pair. This is sprue. Doesn't even have a sprue number on this one. Oh, yes it does. This is A. So there we go. As you can see, really, really sharp details. 48 scale, but look at the detail in the wheels. All the nuts and bolts and studs and all the various bits on all of that right the way through. There's a little bit of burring on some of the parts, but to be honest, that's pretty straightforward. And I am getting picky now. Very nice indeed. You've got the fuel tanks, as you can see, even on the blind side, all very nicely done. And again, remind yourself, 48 scale, so this is getting small. That's the truck. Thumbs up. Looks absolutely fantastic. So, tank itself, the T90. So, I'm going to put these. You can see lower hull details, absolutely fantastic. We've got the ejection ports and things like that. Just need a bit of sanding off, but that's all really, really good. Just straight off the bat. Again, it's all there, ready to have the suspension added to that. So that's very nice indeed. And then we've got the upper hull. Again, lovely detail on these. And again, it feels solid. It doesn't feel thin and flimsy or anything else like that. But look at the detail on it. Absolutely fantastic. Really, very, very nice details on those. And again, nice to see 48 scale stuff. Doesn't take up any room. It's not as expensive. But yeah, there's lots of pros for 48 scale armour. Very, very nice indeed. So that's good. Okay, let's have a look at the turret. So you've got lots of details get added onto this, but it's right there off the bat already. Lots of moulded detail on there, recessed and raised. The bolt heads, all looking very nice. Good, clean, sharp details on that. Very, very impressed with that, so that's nice. I'll just pop it back in the baggie. Okay, so this is, looks like G, is this? Yes, this is G. I can find the weight in. Okay, so sprue G, as you can see, looks very nice. Same again, no sink marks that I can see on this one. There's no real flash, tiniest amounts of burring onto this, but nothing that's causing any problems. And again, details right the way down in here on the underside of the turret, all the various parts. Got the gun mantle, we've got the hatches down in here, we've actually got the gun itself with the shroud all moulded onto it, and then obviously all of the smaller detail parts. The actual sprue attachment points are very small on the small stuff, and on the bigger ones are a little bit bigger, but they're nice and cleanly put on. And again, they're doing this sort of high side way of actually doing it, just getting off the sprues a little bit easier, so that's very nice indeed. Again, good clean stuff. Inside of the hatches, there's no eject pins on them, so you could have the hatches open without any problems at all. So again, that's very nice. And then we've got the actual on sprue H. Again, showing off the details onto this one as well. So we've got the dedichium pole and the grills and all some of the plumbing and wiring and things like that. The rear plates on there, as you can see, really very, very nice indeed. Again, I think that's a little bit of wheel on there. A little bit of release agent, that's all that was. And again, torsion bar, suspension system. All the other bits looking pretty darn good. Work our way round. Yeah, very nice indeed. Good stuff. And again, these are the usual thing, you just knock them off, you just flip them off and they'd go. So they're not a problem. Easy to get rid of. Okay, last up we've got the sort of Lincoln length tracks. So we've got a dual pair in here, we get one out. So obviously we've got two of the same. So this is sprue F, as you can see, looks really very nice. And again, starting up here, some of the small parts, all the details, really nice, good, clean. So obviously we've got the drive sprockets, we've got the road wheels, we've got the idlers, we've got the fuel drums there, some of the small parts up at the top. But again, this is lovely. I love the way it's got the natural sag molded into this. So that's really straightforward. And again, tiny little sprue attachment points onto this. So it's really straightforward to get them off. There is some ejector pins under here. Not that you're ever going to see them, but if you wanted to, that's an easy clean up right the way through. But again, looking at the road wheels, this is the blind side, how much detail is on those, as well as the fronts. Again, they've got all the detail you could ever want. And especially when you think, again, this is 48 scale. This isn't 35th scale where it becomes the norm. You're looking at smaller stuff. So when you're into stuff this small and the detail is better than you find on a lot of 1/35th scale armour, you know you're doing something definitely right. And this goes back to something me and Matt were talking about on the PM show the other day, of how literally now 48 scale armour is as good, if not better, than 35th scale armour. Just because of tooling, engineering, digital technologies and things like that, it's getting better and better. So those big kits with all that detail can be shrunk down now onto these and can be cleanly moulded, and the details go in, raised and recessed details with no problem. So again, kudos to these companies. So there we go, that's the Suyata 148 scale T90, and also you get the GAZ Tiger.